Shalom, good evening. Today our subject is something that become very popular lately in the Christian world, the codes in Torah, Torah codes. It means
Codes.
Different words that appear in the same amount of jumping letter, right? So everything what we teach really is Torah codes. All the Gematria is Torah codes. All the analyzing of all different kind of hint that appear in any verse in the Torah is Torah codes. But people ask me to talk a little bit about the concept of Torah codes. So we dedicate this lesson today for Torah codes. Even I don't have a program by myself that do it, but in the internet there are some programs that don't working well, but still they can have a little bit use. Before we start with the Torah codes, it was today Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the month of Iyar, so we should be always attached with the time, to live with the time. The month of Iyar, it's the month of Yisachar, Hamor Garem, the tribe that the Torah call him donkey. So it was one of the most messianic months in the year. And if we talk about code, about counting, letter, etc., this is a month that all the month, from the beginning to its end, we're counting the Omer. We're counting a little bit in part of the month of Nisan, in a little part of the month of Sivan, but all these months is just counting. So this is basic months that have to do with counting, with codes, because code have to do always with counting letter. Surat Omer. We've been talking a lot about the concept of Mochin de Abba, father brain, the concept of brain, concept of the father. Yeshua said in the book of Yohanan that the praklit, the advocate, will tell you about the father. All right, so the father, the concept of the father, it's something very important for the second coming of Mashiach. It's the basic idea. Everything that has to do with the second coming of Mashiach have to do with revealing father brain, father mentality, way of thinking. One of the hints that have to do with the month of Iyar,
Hint.
You know that the letter of Yud Kevavke, of the name of God, each one of the letter have a certain name. I write a number instead of letter. This is the Yud is 10, the Hey of the name of God is 5, the Vav is 6, and again Hey is 5. The Yud, we call it the letter of thought. Thought of Aliyat HaMachshava, the thought starting with the letter Yud. So this is called Machshava. No. Maybe two, but now I talk about a concept that the way what the letter Yud serve when we talk. The letter Yud, when a word start with Yud, many times it shows that it's a new idea coming. As Yashir, Moshe will sing. All right, it means that a new idea came to do something.
New creation.
All right, a new thought. So it's why we call the letter Yud the letter of the thought, of Aliyat HaMachshava. The letter Hey is the letter of the question. Ha. It's a Hey can serve as a question letter. If I want to ask you if you ate, Achalta is you ate. But Ha-achalta, it's like if you eat. Ha-achalta. Ha-shamata, did you heard? Ha-shamata. Alright, so this letter here in this place called the letter of the question, she'ela. The letter Vav is called the letter of chibur, the letter of connection, ve, and. Okay? Chibur. The letter Hey here in this place it's called Hey HaYedi'ah, the A of knowing. When I talk about something that I know what we talk about, it's like I will say ze in English. The book. That everybody, we know what book we talk about. I will say the book, not book. The book. Ha-sefer. Ha-sefer. Okay. So this called, we know what book we talk about. So by saying ha, it means that this is the book that we've been talking about. Ha-sefer, the book. Okay, so it's called Hey HaYedi'ah. Now, this is the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. Each month have a different permutation of the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke. The permutation, the order of the letter of Yud Ke Vav Ke that related to the month of Iyar is what have to do with father brand is Yud K Vav. It means that before we go to heaven, the Vav is like the sky, the heaven. This like the earth. Before we go to heaven, we go to the earth. After we go to heaven. This is the Mochin De'Abba. This is the main idea that have to do with Mochin De'Abba is that the body, the physical existence is before the soul, before the spiritual existence. This is father brain. And it's why when Jesus talk about the Praklit, it is so difficult for him to talk about this concept, and you want to explain different things, but he say you are not going to, you cannot get it. It's not for you guys not to understand it. But when the Praklit will come, he will tell you all the truth. He will tell you about the Father. He will tell you think even better of me, because he says that if I'm not going to go, the Praklit will not come. So you should will not come. So we should be happy that I'm going away from you guys, because if I'm going away, the Praklit will come. Okay, so okay, so
right?
Yes, this has to do with the coming of Mashiach ben David, with the two forces that have to do with the second coming that give birth to Jesus himself. The two forces, this unit, give birth to Mashiach, to Jesus himself. What we call it, the flesh and the blood, the priest and the Mashiach ben David, etc. And he will call it the Praklit and the vine. In the same place he talk about the Praklit, the vine, and again about the Praklit. So it's one thing that have to do with the second coming. The vine is of course the blood, have to do with the mother of Mashiach. And the Praklit have to do with the father, Mochin De'Abba. Okay, so
the body.
Okay, so now if I put these four concepts in this order, I will receive the word Mashiach in the right order. Mashiach. It means we switch between the Vav and the A. Only then I receive Mashiach in the right order. If not, this way it's not the right order. Okay, so this was just a hint. This is code, Torah Codes 2. But, like we said, there are infinite way of doing Torah Codes. It's not just one way of jumping letter. So this is, by the way, something that has to do with this month. It's why I talk about this. Okay? About the concept of the jumping letter, it is a verse in Song of Songs. כל דודי הנה זה בא מדלג על הערים, מקפץ על הגבעות. The voice of my lover, of my uncle, but it's mean my lover, there is come, is jumping, מדלג, jumping over the mountain. הרים, it came from the word הרהור. הרהור, it's the automatic thought. The thought that never stop in the head, and this thought that never stop in the head, it's called הרהור, and this thought analyze what you, all kind of you think about all the time. You start to figure all kind of thing about how put things together. All right, let's Analyzer. Say analyze things that you don't know yet exactly how to put them all together, and this thought that running all the time do this work, and the sense of this thought of Chushay, we call it Chushay, or the sense of Hirur, what is came from the word mountain, Harim, is the sense of the month of Iyar, of this month. So the voice of my lover, there is come, is jumping over the mountain. It means over the thought that, the automatic thought that have to do with this month. Mekapetz, jumping on the hill. Okay, so this is a hint in the Torah about the concept of a jumping letter that forming together different words. Okay, so now we go to the subject by itself. We will talk about different examples of jumping letter in Torah. About maybe more of 30 years ago, I don't remember exactly how long ago, maybe it was even before I started to write my book, we used to learn with my rabbi, and he was there between us another disciple that used to work in the university with computers. So he prepared us as a present, and he gave one for me too, all the parasha of Noach. In this time, my rabbi used to talk a lot about Chen, what have to do with the second parasha in the Torah, what we call it Parashat Noach. Noach Chen, the same letter. Noach and grace. Noach found grace in the eyes of God. It's the same letter that coming in reverse. All my book is based on this word Chen. So he knows that Chen is important to me, so he brought me all the parasha of Noach in a way that we have exactly 58 letters in each line.
In a table, in a matrix.
Yeah, he put it in a matrix. It means it's not a empty place between the word. It's just letter.
Like a string.
Just all the one word one after another, like letter.
Like one string.
Yes, but
chapter.
of 58 letters, what is chen?
Oh, wow.
58 letters in each line.
The width of the table was 58.
Yeah, so he gave me a few pages like this of all the parasha of Noah. So then I can search by myself to try to read word like this.
Mm-hmm.
If they are jumping of chen, so I can read. If I try to find jumping letter,
Jumping
of 58 letter, I will try to find word by looking this way on the paper.
In the matrix.
Okay, so I look on this paper and I find something very interesting. And this is before the time of the computer. I talk about the time when the computer was
beginning.
Green, you know.
Yeah, the first XT.
It was very. Only in the academy you have computer to do all yeah. I talk about the times that nobody have a private, almost
personal
nobody
computer.
have a personal computer in his home. So I was searching on this paper and I find Moshe. No, I will write it this way. Moshe, Yeshua, Yevaser. We say that Eliyahu Hanavi is Mevaser. Mevaser is somebody that announces the coming of Mashiach. All the coming of Mashiach, you call it Psora. Psora is the Jewish translation for gospel. But Psora, it means a good news. It came from the word basar, what is flesh.
From a messenger, a mevaser.
Yes, a messenger is a mevaser. For example, the average value between hapraklit and ruach haemet, the advocate and the spirit of the truth, the average value of these two words is hamevaser, the messenger. All right, so Yeshua Yevaser, it's very something. But we have Moshe, Yeshua, Yevaser in jumping letter of 58. And this I saw it with my eyes, with no computer. I just look on the page and I find it like this. Okay, so now that we have a computer, we can try to search different words around this. This is what the programs that you have today can help you with this. After you find something that you was looking for it, you search around all kind of concepts that might be related. For example, the word Mashiach. All right, so we have here Mashiach in jumping letter of 13, which is very good. Okay.
13 is what?
13 is one. Is love, all right? The idea that usually they use the same amount of letter, so it can be all kind of number. Usually the people that doing this kind of codes, Torah codes, they don't analyze the number. Why is jump so and so? They don't analyze it. They don't. It's like they just want to show a connection. Usually they search the more small appearance of the expression appear in the Torah. Let's say that they want to search Yeshua Yevaser. So they will find it maybe in another two places in the Bible. All right? Moshe, Yeshua Yevaser, I don't know if you will find it another time. And if you find something like this another time, it will be jumping letter of thousand and thousand. All right, something 10,000 between one letter to another letter. All right, so more the distance it's big, less it's close to something that you can really analyze. Why on this word? Why this kind of jumping, etc.
So what do you learn from this?
First of all, that Mashiach have to do with Chen. Okay? Because it's not only that it's jumping of Chen, we talk about the parasha of Chen, the parasha of Noach that equal Chen. Alright, so it's very special that in this parasha of Noach to check word, to watch a page that is writing as a matrix of 58. Okay?
So then Moshe is related to Yeshua, and both are
all right, so
messengers.
You can see that it is here a connection between Moshe and Jesus. Moshe, Yeshu. Yeshu Yevaser, it's interesting that the Gematria that Yeshu Yevaser equal Yitzchak with the filling letter. We talk all the time about Yitzchak as the personality of Mashiach. Yud, Tzadik, Chet, Kuf. What is 828? Okay, equal Yeshu Yivaser. There are many things that equal this number. We many times we talk about this number. Now we can try now to go to the computer and to work with a program that is internet. This program is really far of being a good program of jumping letter, but we can do few things with it, and in this opportunity we can teach people how to deal with this program, how it works, and to see how after you get something you search for other things around. Okay, so I will go to the computer.